A big crash is coming in the next month, right? Everything is going to crash. Equity is going to crash. Maybe even Bitcoin will crash, but gold and silver won't crash. So that will be a good place to be in. And you should keep a lot of cash. This is the best strategy for November. Who said this? I've changed a little bit of the dates. This was said by Robert Kiyosaki in September 2021. Don't worry, we are in 2023. In 2021, Kiyosaki made the statement saying markets are going to crash. Now, he could have got away with it, but for social media, when the Twitter handles just took all his previous screenshots or previous predictions and put it all together, and they created a collage out of it and say this is what he predicted and this is what happened, this is what he predicted and this is what happened. But does it really matter? The answer is no. Because he may have been right or he may have been wrong. It doesn't really matter, because one day he will be right. It's like me telling you right from the month of like say 18th of May or maybe 30th of May, telling you it is going to rain in Bombay today. I will be right at some stage, right? By if not 6th of June, maybe by 15th of June, I will be right and it will start raining. So somebody who sees my tweet only for that day will say, wow, Subra is so accurate, he predicted that the rains will start today, right? One day I would definitely be right, unless you can take all my past predictions and say this is what he said, this is what happened, this is what he said, this is what happened. But people don't have the patience to do all that. They say, so what if he's been wrong in the past, today he was right. So obviously at some stage you will all be right. Now what happens is, when you run a mutual fund, you ensure that there are 40 schemes that you have, okay, 10 in equity, 10 in debt, maybe 10 in hybrid, right? I'm just for calculation purposes, and 10 are generic or outside funds or things like that, investing abroad and things like that. Now when you have 40 funds, it is fairly obvious that you will also have some NFOs. Then you keep on pushing the NFOs, saying, wow, it is the best time to be in this NFO. And afterwards, after 2 months, 3 months, if that NFO is quoting at say 10% discount, then you have fantastic reasons as to why it is quoting at a discount. But you're the same person who said, don't worry about this. This is an evergreen fund. You can invest for your child, you can invest for your grandmother, you can invest for everybody. It will have a very low standard deviation and it will give you very good returns, because we have our past testing shows us that, right? So people have got away with that. So if you think Robert Kiyosaki won't get away with that, you're wrong. Look at the financial service industry. They've got away doing these predictions. Look at the media. Look at the people who come on television. Every day they are able to tell you why the market will go up, and it is always going up, which they love to predict, and end of the day or next day morning they are able to say why it didn't happen. Do people ever argue that this was right or this was wrong, you said this is what happened? Very rarely. At least on Twitter you leave evidence, so therefore people go check and say, oh, this is what Subra said, this is what happened, right? So most of us understand and realize that we have no ability to predict the future. However, wherever I go, whether it is a bunch of young rookie IRS officers or to-be IRS officers or foreign service or any group of MFDs or chartered accountants, does not really matter. At the end they will ask me, this quarter what do you think is going to happen? And the truth is, I don't know. But they don't believe, or somebody even comes and comments saying, you will predict only when you are being paid for it, right? The truth is, I don't know, but the thing is, it is always nice to give people some answer. So when somebody comes to me and says, what do you think will work now? All I have to do is say banking, because banking works most of the time. So if banking doesn't work, then they will not remember that banking didn't work. But if banking worked, and I gave this prediction in Nagpur, then I would be famous saying, wow, Subra was so correct, banking worked. All I have to do is make sure I say banking every time. I should not say banking once, automobile once, and infrastructure once, then I'm in trouble. Or I should say infrastructure all the time, saying, look, India is such a big country, we need infrastructure, we need planes, we need airports, we need roads, hotels, hospitals, everything, and this is all part of infrastructure. And do you think infrastructure can work without being funded? Therefore banking. This is a fantastic answer, and it will work. At least for the next 10 years this should work, right? Nobody is bothered whether infrastructure really works, but they want an anchor. They want an answer that time, saying, "Oh, Subra said this will work, right?" And I have just spent an hour or two saying, does not matter. If you're doing an SIP, you can start any time. If the markets come down, you will still get more units. If the markets go up, your portfolio will also be going up, right? So we talk about all that, but continuously we will be asked by somebody, what do you think is going to happen in the future? The truth is nobody knows, but the truth is also that everybody wants some crutch to believe that the world is great and India is super great, the next 15 years return will be greater than the last 45 years, or whatever you want to hear, right? So all of us say good nice things. Can you go against and say no, this will not work? For that you need a lot of hard work and evidence. So it's easy to keep saying, oh, this will work and this will not work. In India, everybody needs to buy toothpaste. Everybody needs to buy a shaving blade. Well, it worked in case of toothpaste, it did not work in case of shaving blade. So you don't know what will work and what will not work. The same facts, same things, both well managed companies, one sees very good growth, one does not see growth, right? These things do happen. Most of us cannot predict what is going to happen in the future, so we all pretend that we can predict, and there are people who may even know that it is not going to work, but still they have the pleasure of saying, Subra said that infrastructure is going to work. It means nothing. Be careful about what you hear, what you listen, what you believe and what you do. Thank you.